Welcome to the Furious Stiles Podcast. I am your host, Furious Stiles. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We about to get into it, y'all. Hey, let's go. At the Furious Stiles Podcast, you will hear different perspectives from myself and my guests on music, life, and everything in between. You know? Yeah. Yeah. Furious Stiles. All right, let's go. We here.
Hey.
It's time. Let me turn this reverb or delay off a little bit. All right, so this has been a long time coming. This is the Furious Stiles Podcast. First thing I want to do is I want to introduce myself for those who don't know me. I've been doing music for a long time. Producer, artist, underground, hip hop, soul, you know, you name it, I've done it. So now I'm trying to get into the podcasting realm because as a music artist, I had a lot of different matters as far as songs is concerned, a lot of subject matters. So what I'm doing is I want to take those same subject matters that I talked about in my music and put them into the podcast form. So a lot of the things we're going to be talking about, these are things that I've referenced in my music in the past. But also, you know, I'm a designer. I've got clothes. I do graphics. You name it, I do it. I used to perform. And I've traveled with my music. I've done all kind of things. So Furious Stiles, furiousstiles.com. Everything that I'm talking about right now is definitely on that website. To my left is the lovely, the queen, the goddess of the asylum of the gray room. That would be PB. Give it up for PB.
Hey.
So this is going to be my guest today in the subject matter that we're going to be talking about, which is we're going to get into that in a minute. The name of the title of this today's show is Hip Hop N-Words, and we're going to dig into that, dive into that, and so you can see why we called it that. So first thing is PB.
Hi, this is PB. And
so I mean, like you're like a very talented person, and basically, you know, tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
well, I am a stenographer. It's a court reporter, and I pretty much take down the spoken word in court or depositions. Mm-hmm. I'm the protector of the record in court and legal matters.
Okay. So a lot of times when you say things like court reporter, people tend to think that that's what?
They think that I am a TV reporter.
Standing in front of the courthouse with a microphone in your hand?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
But I am the person that's on the side. Usually you'll see somebody who's writing on what they call, I hear a lot of people, they'll say, oh, that little machine that they type on, the little typewriter. Yeah. Well, that's me. That's where I'm on the little typewriter. It's not really a typewriter. It's a steno machine.
Okay.
So it has 23 keys and yeah.
All right. So the subject matter that we're going to talk about today, I feel like in some of our discussions or conversations about what you do, I feel like this particular word that we're going to speak about today, you've actually heard it in some of your depositions. So,
well, I have. It's not said very often, but yeah, I have heard that word.
Right.
Quite, a few times in depositions. You know what? Honestly, I don't think I've heard it in court.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I don't think I've heard it in court though.
But in the depositions you have. Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. So, and so now we know a little bit about you, PB, and So what did you get into this week? I mean, is there anything that what happened for you this week?
Well, today I passed, I won't get the official word until the end of the week, but
Right.
Preliminarily, I've passed my last test to get my RPR.
Okay, and for those that don't know, what exactly is an RPR?
It's an acronym, and it means Registered Professional Reporter, and it's the national recognition that pretty much you're writing at 225 words per minute.
Okay.
And there's other levels and other certifications. So, but that's the first one, and then the next one will be an RMR, Registered Merit Writer.
Okay.
Or reporter rather, and that's writing 260 words per minute.
All right. So for those of you this podcast it's audio and it's video. So for those of you who are actually going to be able to see this, I spoke earlier about how I'm a graphics designer. I do clothes and all kinds of different things other than just I'm a producer and all that. But I just wanted to go ahead and just point this out real quick. This is a hoodie that I have called Life is What You Make It. This is a particular collection of mine, and Love is What You Make It is part of that collection as well. So I just wanted to go ahead and get that out there because I'm sure for those of you who are seeing this, I just want to go ahead and make sure that you recognize that this is something that you can definitely go get if you like what you see at furiousstiles.clothing.com. Styles is spelled STILES. So I just wanted to go ahead and throw that plug in there. And also this hat, you know what I mean? It's a Furious Stiles hat. I got a lot of different hats with the Furious Stiles emblem on them. So if you like this,
I like that hat.
Yeah, me too.
That's a nice hat.
Thank you. If y'all feeling this, this is also at the furiousstylesclothing.com website. So, all right. Next thing is, I guess we're gonna. Well, now you came in here with a. With like it's like a relic, and it's a what they call an iPod.
Yeah, I recently found it, and I plugged it in, and it actually was saying the battery was really low.
Yeah.
So I had to keep it plugged in for about 30 minutes.
Okay.
And yeah, I have all of my music on there. Apple hadn't taken it.
Right, and the reason why I wanted to point to that is because it's kind of funny because it's like we have this whole medium or this whole culture of podcasting, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe that's where it all started, like that actual root word pod.
That's true.
I think so. So It's kind of ironic that you would have that with you. So
yeah, I have the original iPod. The classic. I think they call it iPod Classic.
Right. And anybody that's probably under 20 years old probably has no idea what that is.
Oh wow.
Or what that means, because the ones that they make now, it's all touch screen, just like the phones are. But this right here is literally like a wheel that you spin around. Doesn't have to be connected to the internet.
No.
the music is actually just on the device itself.
There's an artist, and there's a mixtape that he put out on one of those platforms.
Right.
And it's now not on my Apple on my phone. Mm-hmm. It's not on there. It's it's grayed out. But guess what? It's on my iPod over here.
Right.
iPod Classic.
Right.
They weren't able to take that from me.
Yeah. I mean, with technology, you're gonna have advantages and disadvantages to every piece of technology that's out there. Nowadays, it's extremely convenient to be able to stream your music because you don't have to have a certain amount of storage on your device.
That's true.
It's like streaming is just unlimited storage. You can just play as many songs as you want. But if anything ever happens to the internet,
it's gone.
It's gone.
You remember that movie? What's the movie with Denzel Washington?
Yeah.
Eli, the Book of Eli.
Oh yeah.
Remember that movie?
Yeah.
Now I think he had some kind of iPod or something, but he kept playing the same song. He's probably only had one song on there or something. But
yeah,
just like if something like that happens, then I'll still be able to play my music on an iPod Classic.
That's true. That's true. That was a very good movie. I remember us. Didn't you see it like 3 times?
I think so. I think I saw it with you, then with my father and Elijah, I think.
Right.
And
right.
then
Or maybe you saw it twice.
maybe I saw it twice.
Yeah. So, and real quick, I pointed out the iPod situation because what are you listening to these days? Like what's bumping when you ride in the car and when you're on the treadmill working out? Like what are you bumping right now? Because this is a music slash social cultural podcast, and so music is always going to be kind of through the lens of music. So
Yeah. Gosh. It's some girl I just found, Victoria Monet.
Victoria Monet, okay.
But I mean, I think she's a writer. She's a writer, and so she's written for other artists, and then she's put out her music now.
Right.
She was featured on T.I.'s a couple of his projects. So
Okay.
But that's the only thing that pops in my mind because that's who I've been listening to.
Okay. Yeah, just kind of letting people know, giving people an idea of the type of stuff that we listen to. So for me, well, let me just go ahead and throw a song out there that both of us are kind of addicted to.
Yeah.
That Mike Angel.
Yeah.
What's it called? I'm on it.
I'm on it. Yeah.
Man, if y'all have not, this is the R&B brother. Like if y'all have not listened to Mike Angel, that I'm on it song is doggone near.
It's really good.
Yeah, I mean it's almost like hypnotic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really good.
It's really good. So I'm definitely. So you put me on that. You put me on to. Trevor Jackson.
Oh yeah, Trevor Jackson.
Yeah, Trevor Jackson.
Yeah.
What's the name of that song? I can't think of it right now.
I can't think of it either.
But it's the one basically where he's in a relationship with a young lady and she's been messing off on him and he got a cool.
You've been lying to me.
Yeah.
I can't think of the song.
It's a really cool video too.
Yeah,
It's a real quirky, cool video. So as far as R&B is concerned, I've been playing the heck out of both of those songs.
Oh, you have.
So, and then also as far as hip hop is concerned, because hip hop, that's my main genre. That's the music that I personally have created throughout my years. I like I said, I've been doing this music thing for a while, and so right now for me, it's definitely Griselda Records, the WWCD album, which is What Would Sheen Gun Do. Sheen Gun is one of their family members that passed away who was doing music and. What's that?
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the really cool thing. So it's kind of like an album, almost like dedicated to him. It's their first big release because it's being released through like Shady Interscope.
Is Benny the Butcher? He's with them.
Yeah, he's with them.
Oh, okay. I just saw something with him. That's why I was asking.
Yeah. That's he's definitely in there. Benny the Butcher, Conway the Machine, and
because Jay-Z,
West Side Gun.
Jay-Z advised him not to get on the cover of the Fresh XXL.
Yeah, he did. Actually, Benny the Butcher, if I remember correctly, I think he said it wasn't like Jay-Z just didn't want him to be on there. It was just the way that Benny the Butcher was going to go about being on there. Like that particular magazine, they have the little ciphers, and what he was going to, they'll record those ciphers. What he was going to do was he was going to go on the cipher and he was going to start battling people that were there.
Oh,
so,
okay.
And Jay-Z was like, what you going to do that for? So a lot of times when people, they were thinking like Jay-Z was kind of like hating or something like that, or maybe telling him like not to shine. In actuality, yeah, I mean, in actuality, but because they don't know the whole story. And it turns out that I think I saw an interview with Benny the Butcher and he was saying Jay-Z just didn't want him to approach it that way. That's why he told him to kind of leave it alone if that's what you feel like you need to do.
Okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, he's just like, don't come in, starting trouble with a bunch of folks. So, but anyway, yeah, that's what I'm listening to on the hip hop tip, man. That's definitely something I would advise everybody to check out. That's my favorite rapper of all time is Sean Price. I'm gonna go ahead and put that out there. But so anything that he does, Sean Price has an album out right now with Little Fame called The Price of Fame. So definitely go check that out. That's super hot, and that's my favorite rapper of all time. But other than that, Griselda Records for sure. And as a musician, as a producer, the Griselda Records album is really important to me simply because it's real hip hop. It's the real East Coast sound because the East Coast guys have kind of gotten away from their their traditional sound. And not only is it Griselda Records represent that original East Coast sound, this particular album they didn't use any samples, so they made like real boom bap hip hop, like straight from scratch.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and I'm like a real big advocate of people doing that. So, but anyway, so yeah, there you have it. I mean, for me, as far as what I got into this weekend, like I said, PB has done a milestone with the completion of the test for her career. For me, I've been in here in the studio working on music, working on getting this podcast going, and here we are. We finally made it. So
you should give yourself major props for the way you have this studio looking. Exactly.
There we go. Hey, I don't even have to give myself props. They love me out here. So yeah, so we're gonna get into the subject matter at hand. It's the year 2020.
2020.
And which is like perfect vision.
I can see clearly.
I
know
now,
all the corny stuff.
All the corny stuff that comes with it. You know what I'm saying? So, but I mean, it's a new year, it's a new decade, it's a new month, it's a new day, and here we are, yet again, almost 150 something odd years later, and we're still talking about that dusty, disgusting, degrading N-word. Like, we're still talking about it. Like,
well, I mean, it's still in a lot of people's vocabulary, and it just keeps getting passed down in generations and to the next generation.
Right.
And it probably won't ever stop, rather. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, well, so why do you think that is? I mean, what is it that's so, like, intriguing about the N-word where you think people just love to use it? Like, do they like to use it out of anger? Do they think that they feel cool?
I think because it's been attached to coolness.
Okay.
I think it's been attached to coolness for so long that I think people just continue to keep using it because they feel as though it's still I think it's just ingrained in folks' vocabulary. I just really think, I don't know how easy that's going to be able to eradicate, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my thing is, I guess this is what I'll do. Let me just take it all the way back. The Black American tribe, if you will, we've been free for about 150 something years. It's close to 160 years. So the only reason why we're even here in this country is because of the transatlantic slave trade. Now, of course, there are some people out there that will say, hey, some of you all were already here. There's those theories as well. And like I said, I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like I'm the biggest historian. I just know some of the things that I learned in school and things that I read on my own and whatnot. So basically what you have is we get brought here. Our people go through this completely ugly hundreds of years, free labor, slavery.
Pretty much.
And, there's no real legacy to pass on. Like when we were made free, we didn't have anything. But anyway, while all that was going on, this particular word that we're talking about, the N-word, this was something that was used while people were being hung, while people were being killed, while people were being raped, castrated, molested. I mean,
all of the bad things.
Everything bad. Like, and I'm not even laughing at the situation. It just, I have to like, I guess, laugh to keep from, being too mad about the situation, because when you look at that type of history, there's literally no positive connotation that I can think of that comes along with that word.
Well, maybe that's why. I mean, of course, not maybe. That's always been the thing, that taking the power from the word,
right,
by us using it now and
right,
and being that using it in all different kind of ways. It's taking the power of what it used to be,
right,
and that's a lot of people's theory. I mean, does it still hold power? You know what? It's kind of crazy though, because one end is still kind of hold power, because people will get mad or whatever if somebody who isn't their same hue
Right.
says it.
Yeah, I mean, well, you just took the words right out of my mouth. My issue is people will say things like it's just a word. You know what I mean? It's just something that we say. It's not a big deal. Like there's some people that are probably hearing this right now, and they're thinking that we're making a big deal out of something they don't even see it as a big deal. But my thing is, if it's not a big deal, then our Caucasian brothers and sisters, they should be able to say it with no problem.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why do y'all get mad when they say it? And they be like, oh, because, the history says that they're the ones that were saying it. Yeah, but the people that say it now, they weren't alive back then. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people who, like, because they look like those people or they're the descendants of those people, they're not the ones who actually put our ancestors in slavery. Their ancestors did it. So if they use it, I mean, how harsh is that going to be if you all claim that it's just a word? And if words have no power, then I should be able to say, like, hey, how's your B word doing if I'm referring to your mother? You know what I mean? Like,
well, of course, in their own circles and with other black people who don't care, they do say it.
Yeah.
Because, of course, it's in the music a lot. So there's countless times you see, I've seen some candid video where I don't know if they were meant to put it online. You just never know, really.
Right.
But it's like they'll be saying the N-word, and it's just only people in there are white people.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. I mean, it's like, it's crazy because sometimes I think to myself that the legacy of the N-word is being continued more so by the Black American tribe than anything. I mean, dude, it's so crazy because we are such trendsetters. People love what we do, this hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, that's why I say it's associated with popularity, with coolness, and everything that us as people do. Usually we're the trendsetters and we're the cool people. So when we do something, then that's why other people start to do it.
Right.
I mean, you got people all the way around the country. I mean, around the world saying the N-word.
Yeah.
I'm sure they saying the N-word in Ukraine.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'll bet you they are. That's probably the one word that they do know. I mean, it's crazy because, like you said, I mean, there was a point in time where like African brothers didn't really say that. Then this N-word has infiltrated like everybody.
Are they saying it in their music?
You don't really hear. I haven't been hearing them say it in their music, but when you just be around them, they'll say it or.
Oh, so they don't say it in their music?
Not really. I mean, I think they might.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Like the British.
Well, those are British. Like they're different. I mean, they might.
Are they saying it?
For sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're for sure saying it. I mean, and to be honest with you, when I hear them say it, it's about as cringy as anybody else saying it. Like,
so when I asked you about who's the Africans, you were talking about just.
I'm talking about Africans. I'm not talking about
ones that's in Africa doing African music.
Right.
Oh. Okay.
I haven't really heard it in their music. You know what I mean? Because it's I'm pretty sure that they might say it in their raps. Maybe. You know what I mean? Maybe. But a lot of the African rap that I've heard, I haven't heard the N-word. But the ones who end up in England and London and stuff like that, they're saying it now.
Like, what's that guy, the big popular guy?
Stormzy?
Yeah, he says it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's dope. You know what I mean? I'm not going to, like I said, like, it's not like I'm not listening to hip-hop guys who say the N-word. I mean, my favorite rapper of all time is Sean Price, and he for sure said it. So I'm not going to hold it against people, like, by saying that, hey, I'm not going to listen to you if you say it. I'm just saying maybe we should consider some of these thoughts. Especially as far as creativity is concerned, because
when you say that though, creativity, that means they're wanting to be themselves, whatever themselves are.
Right.
And if that means I'm saying the N-word, then that means I'm saying the N-word.
Right. I mean, like for me, I guess it's hip hop has been around basically since the late 70s, about 77, and some people might even be able to take hip hop and they might be able to even trace it back to the South, because I know that people like my father, he used to tell me that when he was in high school, they had this whole thing that they used to do called the Dirty Dozen.
Yeah.
And what the Dirty Dozen was, they would talk about your mama, your papa, your father, your sister, stuff like that. And then he said sometimes they would make it rhyme. So they would be battling, they would be talking about each other, and sometimes they would make the words rhyme. So anyway, where I'm going with this is, I don't think that the N-word was a thing then. And then when it moved up north, when black folks moved up north to, your Harlem, your South Bronx and all that stuff, New York, that whole, what do you call it, migration, they weren't even saying it in the hip hop in the very beginning. Mm-hmm. It seems like, because when you go back and listen to, I don't know, like Sugar Hill Gang, the Don't Push Me Because I'm Close to the Edge, the Furious Five.
Don't push me because oh, sorry.
Well, hey, and I mean, not only there's that, but there's also My Name is Furious, Where's the doom, doom, doom? Well, I wasn't really looking for any applause. I was looking for somebody to be like, oh.
Now they're laughing.
Well, now they're laughing at me. I don't know where that all is. I'm gonna find it on this machine in a minute. But yeah, basically, they made it up north, and it wasn't really. I just that word and even cursing in hip hop didn't really become a thing really big until like it went to the west side. And that's not, and trust me, I love West Coast music and I love everything that they did and I love everything that they continue to do. But after that whole, that whole era, gangsterism, curse words, N-words, stuff like that, it became a normality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So basically, what you need me to do?
Oh, I was just standing up.
You want me to pull this up?
That's fine. I mean,
okay, because just so you can have it to where you can be heard or whatever.
I could be heard.
Well, now you got to bend all the way over with your back.
I could be heard.
So, all right, but just let me know if you need me to do anything or whatever. So, because I was thinking maybe, I don't know, maybe we need to lift the mic, but so anyway, back to where we were at. So now here we are. Fast forward, 2020, hip hop, rap, still saying
N-word,
and then it's in the R&B. Remember the R&B guys?
Yeah.
The R&B guys, they used to be regular. They didn't even really curse in their music. Even when the hip hop guys were cursing, the R&B guys were still chilling.
But I remember, like I told you, I think her name was Olivia. Yeah, Olivia. Mm-hmm. She made that song where she was cursing in it. And so, yeah, I'll sit back now.
Yeah,
but yeah, she made that song where she was cursing in it. And I remember that was like, wow, she's cursing in her song. And she was a singer.
You talking about the song Biz Ounce?
Yeah, Biz Ounce, yeah.
Yeah.
That song.
yeah. I mean, it was it was pretty vulgar.
Yeah, no, it was. But that was like the first time I feel like I've heard a female do it so much. Maybe somebody's cursed in their song like one or twice or something, maybe.
Right.
Before then, but not to where she was.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, and it's become like even more of a trend to be that way with even R&B now. I mean, R&B has become, it almost as vulgar as like hip hop.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if not, it's pretty much on the same level. As a matter of fact, I mean, the beats and stuff that they sing on now, I mean, they're pretty much like hip hop beats for the most part.
Yeah, but it's a lot of R&B songs out there though that they aren't cursing like that. Now, unfortunately though, it's definitely, even if they're not cursing a lot, they're saying a curse word here or there in most R&B songs nowadays. Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a different time. And my thing is I don't want anybody to look at it like I'm holier than thou, because I'll be honest, it was a point in time where I used to use the word. So I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm holier than that. But it's been a long time since I have. Because when you get older, when you know better, you do better.
The only time I ever used the word is when sometimes I'm singing a song that may have it. Yeah. I may say it because I'm saying the song. Most times I'll blink myself out. Like I'll just not really say it. But that's the time when I really just kind of say it. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't say it in my regular vocabulary. Like I'm just really not having a use for the word. I don't say the word really like that.
Yeah, and it's funny that you should say that, because that's what a lot of white folks say. They say that they're just rapping along with the song.
Yeah. But even so, I don't do it all the time.
Right.
You know, I don't do it all the time.
All right. So let's go ahead and get to this commercial real quick. We're gonna take a little break, y'all, and I want y'all to check this out.
Produced by
Furious Stiles.
Yeah. We about to get into all things Furious Styles, y'all. Listen up. Let's go. Hey, yo. Go to furiousstiles.com for all things Furious Styles. We got music, beats, merch. But if you want to go directly to the merch, then go to furiousstylesclothing.com. We got hats, shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, bags, everything you need, baby. We are now being sold on Amazon, eBay, Etsy. Just Google us. We're on Instagram. We have a Facebook shop. But if you want to find out more about Furious Styles himself, I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Let's go. All right.
Hey.
Hey, we back after that commercial. So, man. Make sure y'all go to furiousstiles.com. I got a lot popping there, furiousstylesclothing.com. So, back to where we were at. I was gonna say something.
Okay.
About the whole situation. It seems like I can almost. Can you close that real quick?
Sure.
I can almost. Thank you. I can almost. For me, like with the N-word, the only way that it even makes any sense to me is if somebody says it if they're mad at somebody.
Why does that? How would that be any different, though?
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that makes it any better, but I can just see like if somebody gets pissed off, how they would just want to say something that just totally tick you off to.
Oh, you're saying of another race.
Well, yeah, or the same. Because like that's one thing that I noticed when I've been around a bunch of black folks, be at a club, and something pop off, that'd be the main thing that you be hearing is that word.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's like, and they be saying it like, yeah, like, you know what I mean?
I think you could say other things now.
Yeah, you can say other things, but why does it always come to that? I mean, and haven't we seen some videos? And I know you having the career that you have, because you told me about some situations, but haven't we seen some videos where it was nothing but Caucasians, but somehow or another everybody was getting called the N-word?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what is it about that word that just has people in this trance where N-word, like that's the thing that I want to say when I get pissed. It's like,
I don't know.
It's sad, man.
You know, it's very hard to even pinpoint how to even eradicate that word.
Yeah.
It really has to start from where people stop saying it to their children, and then maybe that next generation will not say it as often. But
Right.
Unfortunately, people say it, and maybe they're not saying it to children, but they're still saying it, and children pick up whatever you're doing. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a lost cause.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I said, I just wanted to put the idea out there. I wanted to have the conversation and just pretty much, because I just have a different perspective on things, and I know you do too. And I look at it as, for me, it's almost like somebody saying, "Look, how can you want the N-word to be eradicated out of hip hop when it's not even eradicated out of the black community?"
For sure.
And where does hip hop come from? You know, as much as people want to say that, oh, hip hop is everybody's music, dude, we all know where the music came from, and the same place it came from, people are using the N-word in those communities every day.
Yeah, and then, I mean, this isn't music, but it's still entertainment. But a lot of comedians use it in their comedy, and it's almost like a punchline.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like if they didn't say it. If they're funny, though, they don't have to say that word. And then you won't even miss that. Wouldn't even say it.
Right.
Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if they're not funny, they need something. And a lot of times they'll be loud with that word.
Right. I mean, and then it's so crazy because one of the things that I never really say when it comes to my music is I never tell people like, by the way, I didn't use the N-word and I didn't even curse. In my songs. Like, I never say it. Nobody ever notices it. They'll just be like, yo, dude, that It Makes No Difference song or that Girlfriend song, that was dope. They never say like, oh man, he didn't even curse. Like, that's the funny thing. If you don't say the N word or you don't curse, it's almost like nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna get mad at you for not saying it.
I don't know. I mean, maybe then, but now I think they would notice it because it's said in everybody's song. So I think somebody would, you know what I mean? They'll recognize it's a dope song, and then they'll be like, oh, I don't think he's cursing in it. But just because it's the way it is now. The way almost every single song has curse words in it.
Yeah.
Even non-traditional songs that didn't have curse words in there. You know what I mean? So some pop songs have curse words in there.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, and like I said, that's a whole nother bag of worms, just even cursing. But my thing is that, I guess the N word has, to some degree, it has become a curse word. You used to
Not really. They don't bleep it out.
Well, I mean, they bleep it out on the radio.
They don't bleep it out on Apple Music.
No, they don't bleep out anything on Apple Music, actually. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're listening to the explicit version on Apple Music, they're going to bleep it out. And if you listen to the clean version, they do bleep it out. And actually, when you listen to Apple radio, like Beats Radio and stuff like that, they bleep it out.
Oh yeah.
But I will say to that point though, there has been some times, there has been some times like where there was like a particular movie that was on TV, and I can't really just pinpoint like a particular network, but there have been some times where curse words got bleeped out, but the N word got missed somehow.
Well, I guess that's what I was trying to say. I guess I didn't articulate it correctly, but that's basically what I was trying to say.
Yeah,
because I've seen that before, where
exactly.
they'll censor the curse words, but then they didn't censor the N word, and the N word was still saying like that's not even a curse word, like it's just regular. Right.
I mean, yeah. So that I can attest to for sure. I almost want to say one of the movies that I can think of. I want to say maybe like Minister Society or even Friday.
A lot of curse words.
Yeah, there's a lot of cursing, but like when it was on TV, it's just like the N word sometimes will slip up and be in there. You know what I'm saying? Like
your mother baloney.
Yeah. They'll do Mickey Ficky for MF.
Yeah.
But then it just I don't know, man. It gets kind of crazy.
That's true. They in the N word be. Nothing changed about that.
Right. Like they'll slip that sometimes in there. So, but yeah, I guess my thing is that the main thing that I want everybody who's listening to this, what I want y'all to get out of this situation or out of this subject matter is I'm not telling you what to say. I'm not telling you what you should say or what you shouldn't say. I'm just saying if you find yourself getting upset with Caucasian Americans or anybody else that's outside of the Black American tribe, as I like to call it, the Black American tribe. Because, like if you find yourself where you feel uncomfortable or you get pissed off because somebody else is saying it, I just want you to consider the fact that you all, the Black American tribe, you tend to be the trendsetters. You tend to be the ones that everybody follows. So if you want people to follow suit and be like, hey, look, this is what we're doing now. Now, we're, I don't know, getting classier with our hip hop, with our R&B or whatever, and we're not really saying that. We can still be bumping and say whatever. Like I'm just saying, if we want other people to follow suit, we gotta be the example, in my opinion. But as long as we're gonna continue to, do some vulgar stuff and put it out there, we can't. It's kind of hard for a person to get mad. They're just singing along with your stuff, and you make it seem so cool because you're such a trendsetter. You all are such leaders. They want to do what you want to do.
Yep.
So, I just think that people should just consider that. If you find yourself if you don't care, then that's fine. But if you do care, then it's kind of hypocritical to be
Here's a scenario, though. Here, peep this scenario.
Scoot up just a little bit because I'm having to look way back at you.
Oh.
Yeah, just a little bit, yeah.
Okay. Peep this scenario. A family.
Okay.
It's a white family. They have their children, and then they don't really talk about race because they're living in, Utah or somewhere where there's not a lot of black people there.
Yeah, it's not.
So they just, so they're not really talking about race because they're not really dealing with race on that level like that.
Right.
So the young girl or male gets some music, and then they start saying the N word.
Okay.
Because of the music.
Right.
But
right,
what
right.
if what if the parents
I see where you're going with this.
where I'm going?
Well, I mean, it just sounds like, well, this is what I'm gathering out of
Yeah,
it.
go ahead.
I'm just getting that you could actually have a young person, if they were never made aware of the hurtfulness or the impact that word has, then they will innocently be saying something that they didn't think was a big deal.
That's where I'm getting to.
Yeah.
Because you get what I'm saying? So, and then the parents don't say anything. Now, of course, I think, I'm not going to say these parents don't know, because then that's not, I couldn't believe there's a family like that. But I can believe there's a family where they're raising their child, someplace where there's nobody of color there.
Right.
And then they're letting them, grow up, and they're like 15 now, and they're listening to whatever.
Right.
But see, I guess the internet that's different. Then they start looking on the internet, and then you start learning stuff through that. So, I guess it's kind of hard to say that will be a scenario, but I was just trying to see, though,
I don't know.
What if somebody's just seeing it and they're not really realizing that the history behind it?
Yeah, actually, you know what? I could still see that happening now, because my thing is, if you're used to hearing something in a particular song, and is there anything you need me to?
Well, I was just gonna say, if you want me to pull up,
Yeah, because I was just trying to make sure I wouldn't like.
If you can pull that, I can come up some more. I mean, it has wheels on it.
Yeah, just a little bit. I was just trying to have you like right next to me like that. This is pretty good.
It's pretty good. Okay.
So, but yeah, no, I actually can see where that would still be a scenario, actually, because how would a person even know to look that up if they, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they never, you're not gonna look up something and you don't even know it's a problem.
Exactly.
You
That's
know what I
the
mean?
reason I gave that scenario, though.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's crazy, man. I mean, for me, I just kind of feel like I just want to put the idea out there, because I think about I'm going to use an example. One of the biggest songs that we've heard in a long time. And young folks, I want y'all to pay attention to what I'm about to say, because this is something that might change your life as a musician, as an MC, rapper, singer, whatever. But remember the song Old Town Road?
Yeah, that just happened last year, right?
Exactly. I think hasn't it gone like diamond or something now?
Oh, okay. I'm not surprised. So,
well, here's where I'm going with it. He didn't say the N-word in the song. He didn't curse in the song. One of the biggest songs that we've heard in a very long time didn't have the N-word in it. It was a song that everybody was comfortable rapping and singing along with. And I just think that people, like young folks that's out there doing music, if you find yourself seeing this music thing as something that you want out of life, maybe you should consider opening your mind to doing what you do and doing it a little bit different. Because I kind of feel like people alienate themselves when they just do a whole bunch of N-words and a whole bunch of cursing. I think that sometimes, like, if you want like a hot song and you want you a hit, and you don't want every single word being bleeped out of it where nobody understands what you're saying, because a lot of times these clean versions, they get lost in translation, because unless you do a clean version where you change the words up, but most people are not spending that kind of studio time where they're going in and I'm going to re-record with some clean words. They usually just take the words out. They silence them.
yeah.
And so what ends up happening is your message or whatever you were doing, or if you want to be considered a lyricist or you think you wrote a good song, a lot of folks, we're not going to know what you said, because it's going to be like, hey, such and such. And I mean, you know what I mean? Like, stuff is just going to constantly.
At that point, you're just really vibing with the beat and the production.
Exactly.
Not really the vocals.
Exactly. And I just kind of feel like if you're somebody who wants to be taken serious as an artist, I would consider that do some songs sometimes. Like, everything doesn't have to be dirty. Like, do some regular stuff sometimes. That's all I'm saying. Like I said, the Old Town Road song didn't have any vulgarity in it, and then look what it did. It was a song that a lot of people were very comfortable with.
Well, I think, and that's probably why, because it was able to be played anywhere. Yeah. And I think and so there were some young people, they were able to listen to it without parents being afraid they'll hear something that they shouldn't hear. Yeah. So it just expanded who could listen to your music.
Yeah, I mean,
expands who can listen to your music.
Right, and that's always been my philosophy. As a musician, I'm not telling people how to do your music, how to express yourself. I'm just saying, just consider some different avenues if you find yourself really wanting this music or whatever you want in the entertainment business or whatever. But just consider doing some things different sometimes or differently sometimes.
Yeah.
So because, banging your head up against the wall is only going to proceed with more of a headache. So, but anyway, another thing that I wanted to talk about was in regards to what was I going to say in regards to the N-word? There was another example that I had. I know so we talked about the music, we talked about the movies, and I'm trying to see. Oh yeah. And this was the other thing that I wanted to mention. You mentioned about the comedians.
Yeah.
And about that being, I wanted to say something to that. I specifically remember, I want to say it was a news reporter, or I don't want to put the network out there. I'm not remembering exactly who it was, but there was a lady, and she was just saying, "Why do black folks get so mad?" She said one night I was watching, I think HBO is what she said, and this was like a news anchor or a reporter, whatever.
Was she on the news saying this?
She was in
somewhere else.
Yeah, it was some kind of like an interview or something.
Okay.
And she was just saying that she didn't understand why folks get so mad at white folks using the N-word, because she was just like, it just seems like she's like, yeah, these are her exact words. She's like, yeah, I was watching HBO, and it was this comedy show that was on, and it was all these black comedians on there, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I mean, it just seemed a little weird that this white woman was just like watching all these black comedians, which, and I know black folks are funny and everything, but if you were feeling offended or something like that, I'm sure you would have just turned away. But she said that she went ahead and watched it. You know what I'm saying? She went ahead and watched it, and she said they were just saying N-word, N-word, N-word. But she actually said the word. And she was just like, she says, I don't know why they always get so mad when we say it or whatever. She was like, they were just constantly saying it. And this is referring to the comedy aspect, because even in comedy, it's a thing. And by no means, and I know how comedy is, it's all tongue in cheek anyway, but I'm just letting y'all know that that's another medium that people use to justify their use of something, and people be like, oh man, F that, they still shouldn't be saying it. You know what I mean? I'm just being funny on stage, but that's another thing that people will use where they'll be like, hey, it's okay. It should be okay for us to say it as well. So, but I personally believe that anybody who says it, whether they're talking about themselves or talking about anybody else, black, white, brown, red, or yellow, you're actually offending yourself. Yeah. Because there's nothing positive about the word. I don't care what anybody says. There's nothing positive about it.
Well, can I be frank, though?
Go ahead.
I mean, I just don't care.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just because it's so popular or something that's been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is what the topic of this show is called today, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't care about if they're saying it or not.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm saying it like that is because I'll laugh sometimes at comedians that say it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It does make some jokes sound better. I don't know.
Yeah.
As far as music, I don't know if it adds anything to the music though.
Right.
But sometimes, I don't know. Does it add anything to the music when people say it? You think? And I'm sticking strictly just with the N-word, not just curse words, because I know I had kind of veered off.
Yeah,
because
this is kind of like a thing. I mean, we've kind of been saying curse words too, but because I guess I'm looking at the N-word as kind of like being like the latest curse word to be added to the roster of curse words. But and curse words, that's all subjective anyway, because it's like, what even makes it a curse word? But anyway, I don't. For me, it doesn't really add anything. I don't miss it. When I can't really honestly remember the last time that I listened to a hip hop song or a rap song that didn't have it. I mean, I don't. I can't even remember. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard for me to even have anything to compare it to other than with my own music.
Music, yeah. Because I'm thinking about, remember the girl you was talking about?
Oh, man.
And I'm thinking, I'm like, I do kind of cringe at it because I'm like, it really isn't adding anything to her song. But it doesn't really take away from the song for me. Yeah. Not too much. But only reason I'm saying with the comedians, I can see myself laughing with somebody like, what's his name? Pierre. I think he
Yeah.
used it a lot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the way he'll say it though, it'll be kind of funny though. So
Well, he's just drop dead funny,
it's like
man.
N-word, like, what I mean? And then he'll just be doing it, whatever. So
Yeah.
sometimes it just be kind of funny. And maybe because we're part of this pop culture. And
Well, I also think that it's probably, I would say, between the different genres, like between the different mediums of entertainment, from movies to music to comedy, I would say that comedy is probably the one place where most people are not going to be as mad about it. You know what I mean? Because when you look at a lot of the rap music that we have today, it's very, a lot of it's very, very negative. So it's like, it's already really negative. And then you're slapping the B word on top of that. You're referring to the women as the B word. Then you're slapping the N word on there. You're referring to the men as the N word. And you were already talking about drugs, using them, selling them, whatever. You see what I'm saying? So it's
killing.
almost killing. Like it's like you're adding insult to injury, because it would be different if a lot of people's music wasn't such a downer. So it's like the music is already so negative. Then when you slap that on top of it, it just doesn't make people feel any better. A lot of people. And
that's probably what. Because I was like with the comedy.
comedy makes people laugh. I mean, it brings people up and you laugh. So when you say it then, it doesn't really have that same effect, because it's kind of like you were already laughing. But with a lot of the rap and stuff, they are already like, saying the worst stuff. And then they say that. It just doesn't it doesn't add anything good to it, So,
No, it doesn't.
And maybe even the same thing with movies. I mean, movies is kind of like it's kind of a gray area with the movies too, because I don't know.
Well, of course, movies are trying to portray real life.
Yeah,
and
that's my thing.
Most times when you having that N word used like that, it's in one of those kind of movies that's portraying that life. You know what I mean? Like you don't hear the N word in the movie called Interstellar.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Because that's about space, and you know what I mean. You're not gonna have the N word in that type of movie.
Right. Yeah. That's true.
Star Wars is not gonna have the N word in Star Wars.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean,
so what I'm saying is the N word is gonna be in those portraying real life type of movies.
you know what's funny is as you said, Star Wars ain't gonna have it. First thing I thought about was with Samuel Jackson.
Well, he's saying it in real life.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I could see him being the first Jedi to say it. You know what I'm saying? If anybody says it, it would be Samuel Jackson.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, just think about all those type of movies. We don't hear it in that.
Nah, you don't. They usually use it when it's, I guess,
portraying
when it's
real life.
Yeah, when it's relevant.
Well, and then when it's relevant, but it's usually when it's portraying real life. They ain't gonna ghost. If that was a movie, I know that's a show.
Right.
What is it called?
Power.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Like Power. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's supposedly portraying real life, so of course they're gonna be saying the N-word, because they say it in word in real life.
Right. And these are gangsters.
And these are gangsters. Yeah, of course. And
yeah.
Then, so I don't know. Like you said, but at the end of the day, it's where it's relevant.
Right.
It's not relevant in space.
It's not. N-words in space.
It's not relevant. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very, very, very good point. So there's a lot of times where you're not going to hear, because it's just simply not relevant. But when they do some gangster stuff, yeah. So that's the reason why the movies, that's why I said it's kind of a gray area, because like you said, movies a lot of times tend to try to portray like real life and stuff like that. And I know people will say that about music, like, yeah, I try to portray real life in my music.
Yeah, that'd be their counter.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to portray real life too.
Yeah, that'll be their count. And then you find out that a lot of these guys, it's like that wasn't really their life anyway.
Yeah.
They were really
that's a whole other story.
That's
right
a
there.
whole other subject. They're telling somebody else's life. So it's like, dude, you really don't have a point, because you're kind of making up stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, like I said, my thing is I don't want to be called that. I don't
want to be called that though.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Because I know how you were saying you don't really care about it too much, but I care about it to the point where it's like, don't call me that. I mean, I'm not saying it. I'm not calling nobody that, so I shouldn't be called that.
I mean, yeah, because I was gonna say something funny, but I thought it wasn't.
What was you gonna say? Speak what's on your mind.
Well, I wasn't gonna say the word, so I was just like, how will I phrase it? If I want to say like inlet.
What? Inlet.
Inward.
Oh.
Okay,
You're
sorry.
silly. No, I know what you're saying. But man, I think it's innerets.
I took it too far now.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, internet. So
Internet.
yeah. Because you're saying like as a woman, right? An N-word woman.
Well, I was talking about like a piglet.
Oh. All right. I thought you were saying like a woman, but yeah, okay. I get you. You know what?
N-wordlet.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Because the first time I ever
say that glit.
Okay, the first.
Okay, go ahead.
No.
It's going too far with that.
No, what I was gonna say was the first time that I actually ever heard that word was in the movie. Do you remember when they said it in the movie Tales from the Hood?
No, I don't remember a lot.
You don't
of
remember
that.
about
That's
that
one
movie?
of the, like you said about gosh, that movie we just Home Alone. You just saw parts of it. I only saw parts of that. I never really saw it all the way.
Because there was actually a skit. Well, they had like 3 different stories on that movie, and one of them it was like these little dolls were trying to kill this guy,
and they were calling him that.
Yeah, well, he was calling him that because he was like a racist governor or something like that. And these little dolls were these little black slave dolls were in his mansion, and they were trying to kill him. And he was like, "Come here, you little inlets," or whatever.
Inlets.
That was the first time that I ever heard that. So,
but I don't think that's bad because you're not really saying the word. You're saying inlets. I ain't gonna say it though, but
well, you already said it.
Well, I mean, just so people to know what I'm talking about, because somebody might not know. They might not be like, man, what are they talking about? Inlets?
Yeah. Well, inlets? I mean, they know what N-word is. They know. They know we ain't talking about neighbors and you know what I'm saying, and like they know what the subject matter of this show is. So,
okay.
Today. But yeah,
so that comedy relief.
Yeah, there you go. But I think that's my thing. Like, don't call me that.
For sure.
I'm trying to find something here. Hold on. Well, I probably should have looked at all my sounds over here. I'm feeling like David Banner. He'll hit like 16 pads before he finds the one sound he's looking for. Let me see. And see, that's a laugh. I'm looking for. I think it's Yeah. Well, I'm looking for like there's a sound that I have that I was looking for, and I can't find it. I think it's there. It is. So yeah, there it is. Like I was trying to use that for when you said the inlet or whatever, and I was just like, that's wrong. So
yeah. Wrong answer.
Yeah. So, but yeah. We're getting close to wrapping things up. Did you have any last thoughts or anything that you wanted to put out there or anything you wanted to tell the people?
Just, support. And I can't really think of anything else right now.
Well, that's extremely important. Definitely go support the Furious Stiles movement.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because
make sure my shirt's showing really well.
Yeah. It says love is what you make it.
What you make it.
And it definitely is. And my shirt, her sweatshirt says that. My hoodie says life is what you make it. And that's how I'm going to end this, because life is definitely what y'all make it.
Say whatever you want to say, period.
Yeah, say whatever you want to say. Just don't call me the N-word.
And don't call me the N-word.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm a god, and this is a goddess. So, hey, make sure that you all go to furiousstiles.com, go to furiousstylesclothing.com. I know y'all heard it on the commercial, but I can't say that enough. Just Google me. I'm everywhere, and that's how you can show your support. I'm going to make a Patreon, and I'm going to make a PayPal me. So if y'all want to donate to the podcast and help out, you can do that. So I'm working on that. But until that has been established, make sure that y'all just go to the websites, go to Amazon, go to everything that I said on the commercial, and you'll be supporting us if you buy you one of these or one of these or one of these, all right? So, hey, until next time, that's the podcast, y'all, and we out.
Furious Stiles.